Let's get started on the first episode of Guess That Price. First off, can you guess the price of this piece of camera gear? Is it $400? Is it $20? Is it $250? Or is it $175? As you were thinking of the price, you might be wondering, what is this piece of gear? This piece of gear is what we call an ND filter, or a neutral density filter. Basically, if you want to think about it like this, it's like a pair of sunglasses for your camera. It allows you to slow your shutter speed down and up your aperture so you can still get that blurry background even on the most brightest of days. Brings down the amount of light that comes to your camera, and instead of having to really boost that shutter speed and mess up your aperture, you can get that buttery smooth blurry background with this piece of glass that goes in front of your camera, and it doesn't affect the colors at all. Now that we've talked about what an ND filter is, you probably want to know what the price of this item is. It is $250 according to B&H Photos. Now to the second one. Do you know what the price of this item is? While you're thinking about it, let's talk about what you should think about when purchasing a lens, because when you're talking about buying anything, the photography world is really expensive, and cameras, lenses, and any type of photography gear, and it needs to be treated like an investment. You need to do your research. You need to know everything about your gear before you start shelling out the big dollars. Coming back to the lens, what should you think about when purchasing a lens? There's a lot of things, and I'll make a separate video about it as like a buyer's guide for buying lenses, but at the most basic level, you need to think about, do you want a telephoto lens? Do you want a prime lens? Do you need it to be macro? Do you want it to be a fixed aperture throughout where it doesn't change, or do you want a cheaper lens that maybe the minimum aperture changes? These are all things that come into play when purchasing a lens, and it's really important to pay attention to that. Coming back to the price of the lens, according to B&H, this lens currently is $2,400. The last one for today is an SD card. When you're purchasing an SD card, let's talk about this one in particular. Do you think this SD card is $10? Do you think it's $50? Do you think it's $35? Do you think it's $200? And if you're saying for this one specifically, it's going to be $35. But there's information on this SD card that you really need to pay attention to when purchasing them. Pay attention to the read speed and the amount of gigabytes on that card. If you do not have a card that can read and write fast enough, you might not be able to shoot a high-speed photos, might corrupt the card, or even fail the card. Purchase high-quality SD cards. Do not skimp out on SD cards, because the last thing that you want is to come back from a wedding or a really cool shoot and all the photos get corrupted because you bought a cheap card.